Round 9 of the ULC F1 Championship on PS4. Well, we've joined right at the sharp end of qualifying. I do apologise for that little delay. We had a few issues with PSN, but we do have SML Carry on top at the moment in the remaining seconds of qualifying with a 1:32.5. Counter-Strike second on a 32.9. Is there anyone out there who can beat those times at the moment? No, Carry and Counter-Strike will not go any quicker. So there you go, 32.5 the target. What about SML Cosmic? Carry's teammate Flores has only managed 4th quickest, so the one Dutch driver unable to beat the time of Carry. What about the other Spaniard? Can he get himself onto the front row alongside Race Stars driver, or ahead of Race Stars driver Counter-Strike? And can SML Cosmic then get himself alongside his teammate SML Carry? Here we go then, through the final sector, heading down towards the penultimate corner. Through the left-hander goes the Williams, one corner to go. And SML Cosmic trying to give the Spaniards the upper hand here in qualifying to give them the best chance in the race. And Cosmic puts it on pole, a 1:32.475, and it is an all-Spanish front row. SML Cosmic and Carry on the front row here today in Texas. Shimasi with a late run on super soft tyres has managed to go 4th quickest, so well done to him. But it's SML Cosmic on pole with Carry in 2nd, then it's Counter-Strike in 3rd for the Dutch team, and then Shimasi 4th from ILR, then Flores 5th from Race Stars from the Netherlands, and then it's Ace of Pace 6th from Inside Line Racing. Now Matt Meerkat goes 6th quickest and pips ahead of Ace of Pace, so a good late run from him. We've still got Technica out there pushing hard, so Technica currently 8th quickest. We know he is very quick for straight line racing. We know he can raise his game. He's currently 8th, heading for the line, and I think he's moved up into either 5th or 6th. It was 5th for Technica, but a bit of a blitz there at qualifying right at the end. And, well, I've actually got Ollie alongside me, and Ollie, quite a crazy end, and there's your qualifying results.
Yeah, it is definitely much so. Yeah, I do think that's a really impressive performance there from Shimasi on the super softs, but it seems that Flores has gone tactical. Maybe he knew early on that he didn't have the outright pace to beat Kari, so he's gone for a more tactical system. Obviously, Cosmic leading with Kari. We'll be interested to see if there's any team orders or they let them race. They're definitely in the lead of the Constructors' Championship at this stage. But yeah, Counter-Strike has done a really solid job there. Shimasi and P4 should be interesting. I think it's going to be a really tactical race going into Kosa. It's a very difficult track with tyre wear. There's going to be lots of locking up. We might even see a few punches if people push it too far. But yes, got one of the greatest first sectors on the calendar lap. The Maggis and Beckett style, left right is going to be glorious. But yeah, it's a great race ahead of us, and let's hope we can have some good battles going into this third from last race. Yeah, well,
as you said, they are leading the constructors, the two Spaniards, the Spanish team at the top, and they have got 183 points. They're 43 clear of the Dutch side. Race Stars, usually Flores and Gemsel, but Counter-Strike's joined in this weekend, so 43 points in it, which is of course a 1-2 really, 25 points in 18, so that is going to be one to watch. ILR in behind on 123, maybe they could make a late charge, 60 points back. But here we go, the race is about to start. It's a Spanish lockout. Can the Dutch respond in the race? Lights out in round 9, and away they go. It's SML Cosmic leading for pole. Carry 2nd in the run to turn 1. It looks like a good start from Counter-Strike in 3rd, but it's the two Williams cars leading into turn 1. Carry and Cosmic side by side. Carry takes the lead from his teammate as they head down the hill. Counter-Strike holding off Shimasi. Technica in 5th. Flores is 6th, and Matt Meerkat in 7th as they all funnel their way through that Silverstone-like sector of track. Looks like Maggis Beckett, and now we've got Matt Meerkat off the road further down the field. What's happened there? Oh, it looks like he's gone for a spin, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think there was contact further down the field there, which has cost him. I think he was on the tail of Flores, so he might have run into the rear end of him there. Flores is all over the back of Technica. Went for a move up the inside, was unable to go for it. Will he go for a dive up the inside? He's going to think about it, possibly up there, side by side, just a touching of wheels there. No damage done. They're now side by side. Going to get caught on the side pod, but now Flores gets the traction, but Technica will be on them ultra soft tyres. He's going to have more pace going in. 10th Fear now getting a double toe behind, and this could be a three-way scrap going into this corner. Let's see what happens now. They're just squeezing out there. 10th Fear looking to the inside. He goes up the inside of Technica. Will he go for Flores? He doesn't go for it. The McLaren gets up the inside of Technica. Just a bit of wheel barging there. Flores gets up to P5. 10th Fear moves up to P6. But Technica's coming back at him. They go side by side. A little bit of touching. But Technica loses out. So that's 2 places lost very early in this race that he's now going to try and claw back.
Yeah, very, very sore one for Technica there. Great stuff, great opportunistic driving from 10th here. Up the inside he went, picked up the double toe from Flores and Technica, and through went Technica, having a bit of a nightmare start, down to 7th position from his starting position. Not what he wants, but it is SML Carry out in the lead from SML Cosmic in second. A 1-2 for the Spaniards, and as I just mentioned before the start of this Grand Prix, they lead this Constructors' Championship, but Ollie, the Dutch have been on a charge, haven't they? As hold on, we've got Technica back up the inside of 10th here into turn 1, and he makes it stick. So Technica in the Haas for straight line racing, back ahead of the UPL driver. And as we all know, this turn 1 here in Austria, it's a great corner, isn't it, Ollie? It's really wide, really open, and you can attack and dive right up the inside, and so many different lines you can take through there, and that's what makes this track so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a variety of overtaking opportunities. You can go up into turn 1 if you really want to go for it, but it does mean that if you get a poor exit going down into the left rights, you're going to be struggling, and it can cause some side-by-side racing that undoubtedly probably will happen today. When you look at it on paper, there's going to be scrap throughout the field. You look at the moment, Flores on the back of Shamasi. This is an important one.
Yeah, it is.
So one of the super soft runners is ahead, could actually be the one who has the better chance of getting higher up the field. You'd imagine a one-stop, maybe two-stop is likely. A one-stop is possible depending on the tyre conservation of these drivers. I'd like to quickly point out though that it's still under a second between each driver. So Cosmic 7/10 behind, Counter-Strike has just dropped there a second, but it looks like Flores is going to be the one who's going to be going for Shamasi. A little bit look there, but it does as well look like 10th here, Ace of Pace and Technique. It could be in for a good scrap today, so that midfield battle, which could bring Frandy Thompson into this battle, who's on super soft tyres as well. You've got the new guys in the Ferraris, in Roadrunner and GP Hamilton will be looking to pick up points, but you've got a charging Matt Meerkat as well at the back, who is, of course, as we know, very quick on his day. And as an SRL team, though, we wanted to pick up some good points. Obviously, since the round 1 success of Skeven, who is no longer racing for them, have not really hit them heights again. So they'll be wanting to claw in the Constructors' Championship, try and gain some positions. But so far, some clean racing, some wheel-to-wheel action, as you'd expect.
Yeah, well, Frandy Thompson, the one to watch. Him and Ace of Pace are getting very, very close. Only a 10th between them as they went through that first corner. And Ace of Pace in 8th, Frandy in 9th. You get 10th here, just up ahead of that in 7th. And yeah, a really exciting start to the action. As you say, everyone really tightly compact. But we've got to mention that the Dutch drivers in recent weeks, they did remember start this championship late. They weren't here for the first week or two, and they've come charging back at the Spaniards, and the Spaniards have had to react, haven't they, Ollie? And they have really reacted today. What a great performance by, hold on, Frandy Thompson on the inside of Ace of Pace. Is he up the inside at the hairpin? He is, and through he goes, puts the Haas up into 8th place. Ideal stuff for the straight line racing boys. But here comes Ace of Pace, back up behind him, the Swedish driver in the slipstream racing for ILR. Has he got the straight line speed to dive up the inside? Doesn't look like it, and he backs off and holds on to that 9th place. But yeah, they're so far.
I think I've just noticed that Meerkat has run into the back of GP Hamilton there. So GP1 Hamilton. So what's happened, I think, is where Ace of Pace is backed off, broke early, and it's caused a Constantina effect there, which has now cost Matt Meerkat maybe his front wing. We'll be interested to keep an eye on him as we go through. But there's a big old train going on here, which could be really exciting to keep an eye on.
Yeah, well, the United States circuit, as you mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, Ollie, does provide so many good overtaking opportunities with the wide entry into some of the corners. So we're probably one of Herman Tilke's better tracks, Ollie. I mean, I don't know about you, but I personally think this is one of his best, if not the best track he's created so far. But yeah, as you mentioned earlier on, Shamasi versus Flores for 4th and 5th at the moment could be quite interesting. They could really have a chance, possibly of the victory this afternoon on those tyres. I mean, we know Shamasi isn't usually, going by form in the league so far, as quick as the Dutch drivers or the Spaniards, but today, holding back Flores on the same strategy, could this possibly be the day ILR pick up a victory? Ollie, what do you think?
Well, this seems to be a really good opportunity here, but Flores is getting a little bit restless behind him. Is he going to go up the inside? He does do. Side by side. Shamasi's going to go for the switchback. This could be beautiful. Shamasi gets the traction. He's done it now. They're going to go side by side. DRS will go to Flores here now as they go up the hill. DRS opens for Flores. He's going to get in the slipstream now. He's got a long old wait until the braking zone. He's going to go up the inside. Will Shamasi go for another switchback? We'll try it. Hung it around the outside now. Late on the braking. Flores squeezing him out. Shamasi fully looks up now. Goes for the switchback. Flores covers him off there. Is Shamasi going to go for a move at the inside? He does go for the move at the inside. Just avoids contact there, and Flores opportunistic as always there. A lovely little dive bomb, a great little scrap from these two, so advantage Flores.
Oh, he slid wide though, he slid wide, and Shamasi nearly gets back, but I have to say, I said that, and immediately Flores probably was listening and said, No, 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 no. We're not having that. And quickly dismissed my comments, and through he went. Great little battle, as you say, Ollie. Through goes Flores, up into 4th place. But now, can he stretch his advantage on Shimasi? Can he get away? Or does Shimasi have the pace to remain in the fight? Perhaps caught napping a little bit down into the hairpin. Didn't think Flores would dive up the inside, but that is very, very, very foolish. We know what Flores likes to do. We know he loves a lunge, and that's exactly what he did initially to set the move up, Ollie.
Yeah, it was. So he also noted as well, as you come through the section they're coming through now, this left-right Magnus and Beckett style cornering, if you do get it wrong and you lose time, you don't just lose a couple of tenths, you'll lose big time. As Matt Meerkat comes into the pits now, I can imagine he'll be coming in for a new strategy and a new front wing as well. Maybe he has a drive-through, he's gone to another set of ultra softs there, so I'm not sure if what the tactics there is. Maybe ultra and then back onto the super softs. But if you get that that first sector wrong, it really can compromise you and cause a little chain reaction where you could lose major time, and that's what happened there. Shimasi had a poor first sector. Shimasi got, Flores got right on the back of Shimasi there, got the better exit, and was just able to make the move done. The interesting thing now to look into is the fact that Flores and Shimasi really aren't losing that much time to the ultra soft runners, so there doesn't seem to be that much of a differential between the tyre compounds. So if they can keep this gap consistent, go for the overcut onto fresher ultra softs and make them last at the end of the race, then there is a real good possibility that these two could be scrapping for the lead, and this could be a race lead scrap at the moment if things pan out the way that you'd imagine it to. No real shocks at the front at the moment, as you'd imagine. Cosmic letting Kari go off with it. He's got the championship as Cosmic goes wide there. Kari obviously the main driver in this one. They'll probably have a briefing beforehand. You know, Cosmic's not really been here the whole time. If it was Marchetti, maybe it'd be different. But Kari is the front runner of this team, and as well, you've got to keep an eye on this. Counter-Strike, who's in 3rd and Flores in 4th. Would there be team orders possibly between them two at the end of the race if this was the ordering? You know, we can't let the Dutchman can't let Kari get away too much in this championship, because obviously there's some big races and we don't know what their performance is like. I believe Flores is a very, very talented driver at Abu Dhabi and Bahrain. Very similar tracks, of course, but you can never count out Kari going into this championship. So these are really important races ahead. It's all about tactics, all about them mind games, who can come out on top. But Flores really in a good position at the moment.
Yeah, he sure is. And well, the problem is though, he doesn't want to get too embroiled in a battle with Shimasi, because of course he is going to be racing those guys with the front three ahead of him. So if those two continue a battle, it's going to be their own downfall on those super soft tyres. They don't want to be dropping off too quickly. Mind you, 6 laps in, only 2.6 off the tail of Counter-Strike, his teammate Flores. He's doing a fine job. So certainly, as you say, Ollie, one to watch as the race goes on. But let's have a little look at 10th Fear here. He's currently around 8 tenths behind Technica. Got the job done on him earlier on in the race. The two of them swapped positions a couple of times. Can he now find a way back in front of Technica? It has been an eventful season for the UPL driver. He's been causing a few incidents. I think the TGP lads have got something to say about it. I'm sure Softcop one time was not too happy with the collision, but 10th Fear apologised and on they went. That was at Silverstone, but he is still here, 10th Fear, representing the UPL and doing a solid job. Currently in 7th position, around a second off the back of Technica, who has looked quick in patches himself. He's looked like really threatening for the victories on some occasions, but at the moment not really seemingly having the pace to challenge. But lap 7 now out of 28. We are reaching what's that, 1/4 race distance. It is Kari in the lead for SML, and behind him is Cosmic in second, his SML teammate. Then it's Counter-Strike and Flores 3rd and 4th, the boys from the Netherlands and Race Stars. And then you've got Shimasi in 5th, representing the Inside Line Racing League. Then Straight Line Racing's Technica 6th. As I've mentioned, 10th Fear is running in 7th, and he is from the UPL. Brandy Thompson is 8th from Straight Line Racing. 9th is ILR's Ace of Pace. Then, Ollie, a quick word. In 10th and 11th, the new boys. The thoughts on them, the GP1 lads?
Obviously complete newcomers to the league at the moment in Ferrari. First time we actually see the Ferrari out on track. ARC obviously were meant to take the position but haven't done. They'll be looking for points, but Matt Meerkat currently struggling. Points on the board are going to be important. I do have a quote here from the guys. I believe they said that they were just looking to have fun in this race, which is a very strange one to have. This is a very competitive and almost cutthroat league sometimes with the quality and the standard that we can see, but they're doing a good job at the moment. You know, you don't expect too much. They're obviously setting themselves up for the next season when things should grow and get a bit bigger, but they're in a really good position here. GP Hamilton doing really well actually, only 1.7 seconds off base of pace and seemingly gaining at the moment.
Oh, hold on,
as well,
Barton, I'm going to have to come across you because we have a battle commencing here. SML Cosmic and Counter-Strike are very close together. Very sorry to come across you there, Ollie, but this is going to have to take priority. Counter-Strike is now right up behind SML Cosmic, who must have made an error, and here comes the Dutchman. Oh shoot, I've lost them, I've got them back again, and here we go. It's just the moment he gets to run on the exit of the corner. He goes side by side with the Williams on the way down the hill. This is personal in this World Championship battle. It's the Dutch versus the Spanish, and at the moment the Spanish hold the high ground. Carey opening that lead out to 4.1 seconds, and Cosmic seemingly riding the storm for now. He must have made an error, and Counter-Strike very nearly walked through the front door and up into second position. But yeah, he's actually got front wing damage as well as the Dutchman on the right end plate, so maybe he has came into contact with Cosmic somewhere. I didn't see where that could have been, but it appears that that might be the case. I'm not too sure what has happened there. F1 Roadrunner has been into the pits and fitted a new set of soft compound tyres, which would suggest to me that he is going right to the end of this Grand Prix. But here we go, Frandy Thompson now in 8th position from Straight Line Racing, having a look at the UPL's 10th FIA DRS Open on that Hassity. He heads down towards the braking point at the end of the straight, very, very close and very nearly clipping the back of Tepier. In fact, I think he might have as they go through this middle sector, diving up the inside now on 10th FIA. That was very brave, still side by side they go, but 10th FIA holding the high ground, holding the advantage. Now Frandy on the exit, goes wide into the corner to try and increase his exit. But there's exit speed, but no way through, and 10th FIA continues to hold on as Cosmic has come into the pits. So I would presume, Ollie, a brand new set of the soft compound tyre, just like F1 Roadrunner, and a run to the finish.
Yeah, very interesting to see though. It's how this thing between Flores and Counter-Strike works out. You'd imagine if Counter-Strike has got front wing damage, as you say, he would probably let him through. Shamasi right on the tail.
Hold on, a lunge up the inside from Frandy now on 10th FIA. They bang wheels into turn 1. Very, very close. And now 10th FIA is overtaken. Well, that was on the limit. Frandy with a late lunge into turn 1.
Flores has been let through.
Yep, as expected. Flores let through by Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike has got front wing damage, and now he will be prey to Shamasi. So all Counter-Strike's got to do now is try and keep that yellow ILR driver behind in that Renault. Counter-Strike, oh, Flores makes an error, and now that compromises his teammate, and now he is prey to Shamasi down the straight. The only saving grace is that Counter-Strike will have the DRS, but Shamasi trying to close in on the back of him, and as we've seen with Ace of Pacey around the race, perhaps running the same setup, the two Renaults, they don't have any straight line speed, and Shamasi unable to pounce, but he's now having a look up the inside. He'll have been told on the radio that Counter-Strike has got front wing damage, and they were trying to do it in the corners, but Flores ahead now on those super softs, and Shamasi trying to get himself in there as well. The last thing he wants, Ollie, is to have that wounded Sauber holding him up.
Yeah, indeed. Cosmic's making his way through the field, so it looks like them soft tyres are definitely coming to their own. You've got to keep an eye on this gap now between Flores and Kari. As Kari comes into pits, also Counter-Strike comes in as expected, so Flores now takes a net lead. This is where things will get interesting. Let's see if Cosmic has gained any time here. As in, will he be able to jump Kari? It looks like he might just be able to come out side by side at the rate he's going. He's definitely going to jump Counter-Strike, but as they come out the pits, it looks like Kari has just about come out there, and yeah, with comfortable ease there. So Kari comes out, but into some traffic, and not the best bit of traffic, if I'm honest. It's between Frandy Thompson and 10th FIA, two squabbling drivers, and we've noticed these two aren't giving up anything at the moment, so Kari's really come in a difficult position. So you'd say possibly advantage Flores going into this on board now. Kari's going to be really frustrated about this. He goes up the
on the inside, through he goes, but he's run really wide, but it doesn't matter. The Spaniard dances past Frandy Thompson as if he wasn't even there, and moves up into third position, and that is a crucial move for the race here today. That could be decisive. Flores will not be happy about that. Kari dances round the outside of Frandy Thompson and takes third place, and as you say, Ollie, an absolutely scintillating move, wasn't it? Race defining possibly.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. I thought he was struggling. I thought, if I wanted to, he'd be making the move here, but just getting past him there could have gained him probably an extra second maybe with the time he could have lost behind the defending Frandy Thompson there. So you'd say still Kari's in a really good position. He's got a good amount of time, 10 seconds. He's going to be gaining. But the interesting thing is, how will Flores hold out? You'd imagine that Flores and Shimasi are going to be going for ultra soft tyres. And ultra soft compared to soft, there's going to be no competition. Flores has really got an advantage. It just depends how his tyres last. But Shimasi is all over the rear end there. A lock-up that maybe could have cost him his front wing. But Shimasi, as you say, is flying just 4 tenths behind. DRS will be open. He's coming down that time. Will he go for a lunge? I think Shimasi's smarter than that. He won't go for anything stupid. He will try and set himself up nicely, but if Shimasi gets past here, it really will become advantage Kari. Every single lap, finger changing and chopping, and now Cosmic's back up for P5, so not really gained any time on them soft tyres. The undercut didn't really work. I'm not sure if that was his plan. He might have to change his front wing, possibly. We don't know. But yeah, it looks like the ultra soft runners are going on to super softs. Sorry, are going on to softs. Whereas the super soft runners, you'd imagine, might be wanting to go on ultras. GP Hamilton is a notable mention actually on super softs, going in P6 on his debut, doing a really solid job at the moment. Got a feel for Matt Meerkat though, who's down in P12, and seemingly is for some reason ghosted. He seems to be still racing, but it looks like he's going to be coming up to the front runners of Flores and Shimasi, who are railing. So there could be some traffic ahead for these two who are squabbling, but will Shimasi go for the move? He doesn't look like he's close enough this
Tell you
lap.
what, Shimasi's looking really good here, isn't he? He really is looking good. He's putting so much pressure on the Dutch driver. Is he looking after his tyres better? And as you mentioned on that previous lap there, will these guys go for a set of ultra soft tyres? Because if they do, we are going to be in for a one hell of a race come the end of this one. Kari is going to be trying to defend from drivers on tyres 2 stages softer, but I've got to say I'm very impressed with the pace that Shimasi's showing here. We know that he's quick. Oh, they're both coming in, so there you go, it's softs. It's going to be softs. Oh, Forrest is a little bit wide. Clip the wall on the way in there, and here in. Now, it's going to be a race in the pit stops between the two teams. Are ILR going to be quicker, or are the Dutch guys from Race Stars going to be quicker? It's going to be all down to the pit stops. This is why they practice so hard Thursdays during the Grand Prix weekend. Is Shimasi ahead? He's behind, and Flores holds on. It's heartache for the ILR boys. But now the chase begins, and look at that, Shimasi in between Flores and GP1 Hamilton. That is going to be, oh, that's going to be so disappointing, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah, definitely the ILR guys. Yeah, but Hamilton here, he might be smart. He might probably not hold him up, but the gap is now extending, which is what Kari needs. Once that DRS is broken, Hamilton goes wide there. Shimasi looking up the inside. He probably cut the corner there. Needs to be a bit more careful. Shimasi, you've got the whole race ahead of you. You've got the pace. He's going to get the move done here on GP1 Hamilton. I can't imagine he's going to hold him up too much. Side by side there, and it's a nice easy move for Shimasi. He knows better. He knows not to mess with the quicker drivers at this situation, but he's got Counter-Strike behind him as well, so Counter-Strike hasn't actually gained any time in this whole situation. In fact, he's overall lost. He did have that front wing change, which is probably costing him in this situation. Shimasi has DRS open, but that 1 second gap has been opened up from Flores, so now Flores can focus on all the car ahead, which is Randy Thompson, but more importantly, Cosmic and Kari. But crucially for Kari, what must be noted is the fact that Cosmic is between him and Flores, so Cosmic can really do a number if needed to.
Well, I have to say, looking at this right now, it's going to be very, very difficult. An uphill challenge for Flores and Shimasi on soft compound tyres to catch Kari and Cosmic. They're only 3 laps or 4 laps younger, these tyres. So, I mean, what? The gap between Kari and Flores is 10.5 seconds. It's going to have to come down quite considerably if he wants to be serious about beating Kari this afternoon. We will watch it as Randy Thompson makes his pit stop, and I presume we'll go on to a set of soft compound tyres. But this is going to be a real mission. It will probably be down to whether Flores and Shimasi can catch Cosmic more than anything to try and limit the damage that's being done here, because the Spaniards are responding, Ollie, to the recent Dutch shot surge up the championship and into the battle really with the Spaniards. They weren't in a battle obviously because they started the season a little bit later than the Spaniards, but they've brought themselves into contention, and now the Spaniards are responding. Who's your money on at the moment, Ollie? For me, I can't see anything other than a Kari victory.
See, the thing is, if it was the other way round, I would probably say maybe Kari, because he does show that real raw aggression, but there seems to be something that with Flores' teammates so far down, and the fact that it's a 1-2 at the moment, you just can't see Cosmic giving up that position. Even if he does, you can see him battling and squabbling. for a good 4 or 5 laps, he's just not going to be good enough, and he'll take the tyres really out of Flores here. But at the same time, it's not the biggest gap in the world. If Flores can get this raw pace going, which he did show some good pace on them super softs, if he can start to get that pace going, and maybe get it done by lap 20, there's 8 laps, and with the tyre wear, they might go on to another set of ultra softs if they do start to wear, and the temperature, the track temperature out there is big. But I'd have to put my money on Kari. It's a safe bet at the moment. But then again, Cosmic is slowly gaining on the car ahead, and Flores is a little bit all over the place coming out of corners, but just set the fastest lap there. So it does seem like we have race on.
Well, we might have race on, because he's actually bringing the gap down quicker than I thought. Down to 9.3 already. He's actually left Shimasi behind, 2.2 seconds between them already. And Flores is putting the foot down, half a second, the difference between him and Shimasi's quickest times. And that man is flying. Kari's quickest is a 36.6. Remember, there's only 3 or 4 laps in it in terms of tyre life. So Flores really bringing himself into play. We thought he might have struggled, but already 9.2 seconds, Ollie, and maybe, just maybe, he could do it from here. Well, we've seen him do it before from a long way back, haven't we? Was it not Spain he came charging through to win in one of the greatest races in ULC history? If you haven't seen that one, folks, be sure to watch that one back. But Flores here, bringing himself into play, and now Ollie, 8.9, coming down a few tenths a sector. We'll have to revisit that one in a few laps' time. But right now, the Dutchman is a flying Dutchman. He's on the move, and maybe, just maybe, the Spanish party can't be started just yet. Surely they'll be on the radio to Kari to get a move on and put the boot down and put this race to bed, because we're only at half distance as we go on to 15th lap, 14 done out of 28. And Kari has far from got this race in the bag now. We thought it might have been, but the way that Flores is going, I'm not too sure. So that is now beyond half distance. We'll give you another rundown of the order. Kari in the lead. He's 3.8 seconds clear of SML Cosmic in second. A further 4.4 back is Flores in third. Then it's Shimasi in fourth, being dropped a few tenths a lap now by Flores now that they're on the soft compound tyres. Counter-Strike is in fifth. Frontline damage is what put him out of what was initially third. He's now behind Shimasi and beginning to reel him in. Technica is sixth. 10th Fear is seventh for the UPL. Frandy Thompson is in eighth. Ace of Pace not having his best weekend. The ninth GP1 Hamilton and F1 Roadrunner on their debuts, 10th and 11th. And Matt Meerkat, as we know, having a bit of a disaster down at the back in 12th. So yeah, the World Championship, the Constructors' Championship, really tight between the top two teams, or closing I should say, in recent weeks. It's now 43 points Dutch contingent, and the Spanish of course holding that advantage at the moment. So all to play for in the remaining rounds, but the Spanish on top at the moment, and the Dutch here with Flores really need to close this gap in. It is SML Kari and MGP, or SML as they prefer to be called, on top of 183 points and 140 points for the Race Stars lads. So 43 points in it. Ollie, where do you see the championship going at the moment? Do you think the Dutch have got enough in them to claw it back?
I think the Dutch need to start working as a team, if I'm honest. I think the MGP guys are focusing more on the Constructors' Championship, and the Drivers' Championship will come as they please. But I feel like the Dutch are kind of playing a more selfish game at the moment. I think they need to be more tactical with their teamwork, which I think they might have been going for with the whole Flores starting on Super Softs. But if I'm honest, I think Flores should have started on Ultras. He should have taken it to him. You know, he's got to catch up the points. He's the one who's got to be coming up, and he's the one who's got to be challenging. I think if anyone, Kari could be going for the riskier strategy, because you know he's got the position and he can go for it. But I think I think Flores on his day is much quicker than Kari in some situations. We've seen it previously where he's just been absolutely rapid and Kari can't catch up with him. But at this moment in time, it doesn't look like Flores has that raw. That raw pace. That, I mean, if you're looking at the one, actually, if we're being honest, on the soft tyres here, both same tyres, he's gaining some significant time at the moment. So if they're open on ultra softs, he probably could have taken the fight to him and win the straight scrap. But instead, Flores has given himself a handicap from the beginning, so he's starting on the slower tyres.
Well,
so
maybe
I think Flores has kind of shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, but the only thing I could possibly point out is maybe the Sauber struggling a little bit with tyre life. Maybe this Flores, the Dutch contingent, maybe their setup wasn't too kind to the car on tyres. Maybe they were getting punctures near the end of the race. It was running close to the limit on tyres. So perhaps that is why. As Flores now picked up a 3-second time penalty, and that really isn't going to help him at all. So that is a sore one for him. 12 laps to go. And he's going to have to start praying that Carey picks up penalties. Ollie, I don't know if you know, I'm on stream. Obviously, I'm streaming, so if you can maybe have a look, count up some penalties for us and tell us who's got what. But that's certainly not going to help for us.
If we go, we'll go through. So Carey, as mentioned, has got 2 penalties, so 6 seconds worth there for Carey. Cosmic has got none. Then you have Flores, who just picked up his first penalty. Shimasi, he has 1. You have Counter-Strike, he only has 1 warning. Technica, he has 2 and is hitting up some warnings, so could be on to a 3rd here. Tempfear, he has 1 penalty. Friendly also has, he has 2 penalties there, he's just picked up 1. Ace of Pace, he is on 1 penalty. GP Hamilton, he's on 1 penalty as well. F1 Roadrunner, he's on 2 warnings, 1 away from a penalty. And Matt Meerkat, he's on 2 penalties and 2 warnings, so he's almost very close to getting that 9-second time penalty. So penalties could come into effect. If you remember back in Australia, we was talking about penalties and how influential they could be on the race, and it turned out to have no effect at all. But at the moment in time, Cosmic would be winning this Grand Prix.
Yeah, it would be, but I suppose, I don't know how you view it, Ollie. I know you've been saying about the Dutch drivers being a little bit more selfish. I mean, personally, from my point of view, the way I look at ULC as it's league on league, and I personally would always think team game. And I was actually surprised initially that there was a Drivers' Championship going alongside the Constructors. But yeah, Cosmic would win this race. Whether that would bother Carey or not, I'm not sure. Whether he would want Cosmic to drop back to a bit of safe enough distance, I don't really know. But surely that's not important. Surely it's all about Constructors. How do you see it, Ollie? Do you think driver, constructor? What do you think is the most important thing in the ULC?
Well, when I first heard about it, I obviously said Constructors. You know, it's the United League Championship. Leagues is a very crucial word in that. So I would have always gone towards the league aspect. But at the same time, drivers, they want to be the best, and winning the drivers and constructors would top it all off. You know, we saw the Flying Finn earlier winning the Xbox Tier 1, so he had a fantastic drive and he's won the championship. And that's the one you really want to keep an eye out for. So there's an old saying in F1 that you always remember the Drivers' Championship, very rarely remember who won the Constructors' Championship that year, and that is the case. The drivers are the stars in this situation, the teams are the ones who are just supplying them the opportunity to race. So I can see from both sides, but I would rather as a league, you're doing it league on league, you're doing it to represent your brand almost, and I would go for that league, the league title, of course, in the Constructors.
Yep, absolutely, I agree, and we'll see then how that pans out, but you're absolutely right to say that Cosmic would be the winner in this case. It won't affect the teams all because they both raced for the same team, Carey and Cosmic, but they've got a charging Flores who is continuing to whittle that gap down, maybe not as quickly as he was previously, 6.8 now off the lead, but he is now catching Cosmic, and he's actually moving into range of threatening Carey. Well, actually no, Flores has got 3 seconds as well, so 3.8 really the gap between Carey and Flores, but Cosmic would go on and win it. So Flores now needs to try and get past Cosmic and then build a 3-second gap on him, then worry about Carey if he wants to pick up maximum points for the Dutch team. But at the moment, Counter-Strike unable to really gain on Shimasi enough. I mean, they really need the points from Counter-Strike. He needs to get ahead of Shimasi as well, doesn't he, Ollie, to really put pressure on the Spaniards to maximise their chances going into the final 2 rounds, because they're running out of points, running out of races, and the Dutch might not be able to reel it in. And the last thing they want to be doing is wishing they joined a week earlier, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah,
Flores, pardon me, lights up the rears and goes for a big slide, and he might get that penalty removed because that was a bit harsh. He actually slid on the exit of turn 1, and it took him off the racetrack and rejoined. I'm sure he'll take that one to the stewards, but yeah, wow, that was close. Yeah, sorry, Ollie, carry on what you were going to say there.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation that everyone's in. I just want to quickly point out here at the moment, Temptier and Frandy Thompson once again, they're at it very, very tight. Them two have been going at it, we'll have driver of the day, but do we give a scrap of the day as well? Because these two seemingly don't want to let each other go at the moment. It's these guys are really good. I do actually really respect the McLaren and Haas drivers. They've kind of been here every single week. It does deserve a special shout out. They've really been the life and heartbeat of the league, and they do deserve a lot of credit because a lot of the time we're focusing on the front runners, but these guys are always strapping out and doing a great job. So a huge thanks to UPL and
Straight Line Racing,
SLR. Who do a great job and show out, and we're really grateful to have them here But yeah, it's I completely forgot the question now. I've gone off on a tangent. But yeah, the whole season and the whole constructors, it's just becoming a case of now getting to that nitty gritty, and hopefully for the sake of Cosmic and Kari, they can make this 1-2 work. And as we mentioned, I think it's 3 seconds that Flores needs to get the gap down to if he really wants to. He was down to 6.5 at one stage, back up to 7.2. So it looks like Flores here isn't going to be able to get the job done. I remember saying on lap 13 to you a second ago that if they wanted to, if Flores wanted to win this race, they kind of need to get past Cosmic by lap 20, and lap 20 now, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, he's struggling, but to tell you who's not struggling, Frandy Thompson, as you mentioned, the battle of the race so far, moving into position again on 10th here. He's closer than he's been in recent laps. It's now down to 3/10. He has a little look up the inside into turn 1. He can't quite do it. Now he can chase him down the hill. The dirt here will affect him, as of course these F1 2017 cars, so much more aerodynamics and much wider as well. It makes it much harder to follow. But Frandy doing his best to stick to 10th here because he'll be lining him up for a potential move down that back straight. So can Frandy move in close enough and put one over on the UPL driver? Quite possibly. The gap to the leader now to Flores to Kari, 7.1. So Kari maybe toying with Flores perhaps, giving him a bait to chase after, and then taking it back out of the water. Quite possibly there, because Flores now, the gap's stagnant at around 7 seconds, and the SML lads look to have weathered any sort of storm that Flores was trying to whip up. But here goes Frandy Thompson on 10th here. That's from a long way back. Oh, he's a look up the inside. 10th here almost takes a piece of action, and there's no contact between them. Phew, that was looking very close. We've got a yellow in sector 3. Who's that? Oh, it's Technica off the road, and he's picked up a 5-second stop-go penalty for corner cut, and I think he must have lit up the rears on the infield section and then trundled back onto the track without taking the next corner. So Technica off the road and in a slide, and now that brings 10th here and Frandy Thompson into range, Ollie. So maybe a 3-way scrap performing here, and maybe, just maybe, the straight line racing boys can try and a tactic to get 10th here behind Frandy.
Yeah, it's going to get really intense here. You know, the both passes are very, very aggressive on their defensive manoeuvres, and we've seen it throughout the season. It's a little bit slidey there, Technica, but as he goes wide, so he might have some damage, but this is going to be fantastic. We know that these midfielder guys, they do love a good scrap, and this could be the prime example of what we like to see here in ULC. They're a great line from Frandy Thompson. He's all over the rear end of 10th here. Is he going to look for a move there? No, he's just going to back out here. But these guys have been scrapping up so much, and just noticed there, Frandy Thompson, he got a really good line into the first set of corners through that long right-hander, but then on the exit of it, just seems to lose out a little bit, which is seemingly why 10th here is holding on. But maybe 10th here will get DRS here. We could have a 3-way scrap for what is measly points on paper in 6th position, but these guys will be fighting like it's a race victory. These are massive points in this this end of the table, which also you've got to keep an eye on is Ace of Pace. He's a very tasty driver on his day, very quick. We know what his pace is like, and he could be gaining on this little scrap here. Quick side notice, as these guys all battle, Flores is now 6.7 seconds behind. So he is gaining again. He's gained 5/10 that lap. At the moment, not enough though for him to gain on Cosmic. If he can gain on Cosmic, he just needs to stay 3 seconds behind, because you'd imagine that time penalty will be taken off by the stewards, and it would be more points than Kari. He'll be focused on outscoring Kari, because if he outscores Kari, it's much better for the team. At the moment, it is advantage to the Spaniards over the Dutch for the battle of mainland Europe supremacy.
Yeah, it sure is, and the Spaniards at the moment look to be landing what I might feel, I have to be honest with you, Ollie, could be a killer blow to this recent Dutch charge up the standings, because they've really raised their game this afternoon and locked it out the front row and just driven off into the distance. Perhaps, as you say, Flores shot himself in the foot by not taking the same strategy and taking it to them, which I agree seemed like the ideal choice. Whether the tyre wear was the problem, I don't know, but yeah, absolutely, the Spaniards looking really good and in control with 6 laps to go. Shimasi running in 4th, and he's put in a good performance. Let's take time now, Ollie, while we can, before this battle starts to really start kicking off between the straight line and UPL lads. Where's your driver of the day coming from? Is it going to be one of the SML lads, Shimasi perhaps, or anyone in the lower reaches of the top 10 you fancy? Personally, I think Kari's done a great job.
Yeah, I think it's tough to say. There's been no major guys who have come through the field. You know, there's been a few a few gains, but nothing really memorable. Maybe Franny Thompson gaining 4 positions, but it's got to be given, in my opinion, to Kari. I think he's done the utmost best, and he's in the championship battle. You can't do much better in the championship battle than winning and outscoring your rivals. And for the constructors as well, 1-2 for the Spaniards. They'll be chuffed with this. So at the moment it's Kari, but we've had situations in the past where that changes on the last lap. So at this moment in time, we're going to timestamp it. Lap 23, it is going to Kari.
What about Cosmic? He's going to remember, of course, the penalties for Kari will switch it, so Cosmic potentially as well. Could be a shoe-in for it.
It's a tough one, but I'd rather give it to the on-track. As much as penalties affect it, I'd rather give it to the person who wins it on track. I know Cosmic at this rate will be winning the Grand Prix, but Kari has led the lap and led the race, so I'd give it to Kari. And considering he's in the championship battle as well, he's done a very mature race. Yeah,
very hard to argue with that one, but let's have a look at Frandy Thompson again, trying his best to get onto the back of tape here. He must be really frustrated, Ollie. He's been stuck behind the back of that McLaren for quite some time now. He's had a few sniffs at glory, but not quite been able to get through, and maybe Technica needs to get up the road a little bit to stop Temptier getting the DRS. I think he is now far enough up the road, so maybe this is Frandy's best chance to get ahead of Temptier now as he goes through the hairpin for the 23rd time and begin the long descent down that long back straight towards turn 12. So here goes Frandy. What about this time? The Ferrari engine in the back of that Haas car. DRS open, gaining as they approach the brakes for turn 12. Is he having a look again? That's very, very late. They're going to bang wheels. Oh, that was a bit aggressive, a bit late from Frandy. And in the end, thankfully, no damage is done to either car, but he needs to be careful, doesn't he? Ollie, what do you make of that one?
Yeah, he got desperate, but fair play to him. We let Temptier back through. It was a desperation move there. He saw a very small gap opening, but went for it, and a very, very stupid decision. Temptier there picked up a penalty, a 5-second stop go. Not really sure what that was for. Maybe he went wide, and after the whole incident, maybe that was part of it. It'll probably get looked at in the end. Quick notice though, Flores is down to 5.9. It was just down 5. It's 5.7 now there. So he is gaining, which is more importantly, he's gaining on Cosmic at the moment. And with the time penalties that are being added on, he's getting closer and closer. He just needs 2.7 seconds to be gained, and he will have this race victory in the bag. So it's starting to get a little bit tense here in the latter stages here. Cosmic needs to do his job. He might try and back up 6 seconds to confirm the championship victory, not championship victory, the race victory for Kari here. 6 seconds down for Flores. He needs to start gaining a little bit more and putting in these good lap times, but it's starting to really heat up here in Kota.
It sure is, and well, can Flores try and do that, exactly that? I mean, Flores gets involved. The problem he has, as you say, Ollie, is that if he does get involved, he's going to give Kari the victory. So is it in Flores' best interest not to try and overtake Cosmic because of penalties anyway, for the sake of the Drivers' Championship? Because if he overtakes him, it's only going to help Kari in the driver's side, and it's not really going to affect the team side. So do you think maybe Flores will think that?
He probably won't be aware of the penalties
well,
that are staying to Kari, will he?
Unless he's listening to the stream, which he could be, but I don't know.
Yeah, possibly, yeah, if you are, that's very clever tactic actually. But I would say, if I was Flores, I would just go for it. You know, you've got to go for it. You know, at this point in time, the constructors-wise, they're gaining points. You've got to take the face value that Kari's going to win this Grand Prix anyway. If you go for it and it works, then you're a hero. If it doesn't, then you've not really lost out in any situation. But down his limitation, if it is second place, only 3 points gained in the constructors, which is 15 in the championship with 2 rounds to go. So yeah, it is a very interesting tactical battle at the moment to see what he decides to go for. Things could be completely thrown up in the air. If Kari gets another penalty and Flores gets one taken off, that's a 6-second gap. You know, that's a 6-second penalty gap, and if Flores gets underneath, you know, that's a position gained, and that's from first to third there for Kari. Advantage Flores, not in the championship, but from this race weekend, which could be really important momentum going forward.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Flores got his penalty removed at all, because one of his penalties was removed. Obviously, we don't know about Kari's, but certainly one of Flores's, the way he lost it and ended up getting a tight penalty, it was very unfair that he got one, so I expect it to get removed. But yeah, Kari looking to be in control, and Cosmic in control as well of this race. We've only got 3 laps to go when Kari sees the flag in a few moments' time. Sees the start-finish line in a few moments' time, I should say. But What about Frandy? How's he getting on? Is he still standing at the back of that McLaren? Let's have a look, Ollie. It looks like he is, and I'm pretty sure he'll be getting pretty fed up with that view, won't he?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. But at the same time, as well, ace of pace is starting to gain little chunks. But I don't think it's going to be enough. So realistically, this battle between the Haas and the McLaren, even though 10th gear has got quite a few penalties, I don't think the position will. I think the position will be given to Frandy there, and probably maybe even drop down to P9. But Frandy won't care about that. He's been seeing the rear end of this this orange McLaren for quite a while now, and 10th gear is probably starting to get a little bit of an irritating name in the box. Sorry, the peripheral vision of Frandy Thompson. He'll be wanting to dispatch of him. He went for an earlier dive bomb. He probably shouldn't have gone for it, but he's just letting him know he's still there. And could have some last lap drama between these two. Let's hope they keep it clean. As we know, these guys in these midfield packs often are taken to the stewards for silly little contacts and silly little mistakes that happen. Notably 10th gear, obviously at Silverstone, as you previously mentioned, has a reputation. But a very good reputation for being quick on his day, nonetheless. Good point to, good side point to notice here is Cosmic is now 4.8 seconds. It's kind of chopping and changing, so I'm not sure. Maybe he's trying to just lay it off a little bit. Maybe he'll just lift off a little bit going forward, try and back into Flores. Get that gap at 6 seconds at the moment to Flores. Maybe Kari and Cosmic are communicating, letting him know. He crosses the line ahead. If he does cross it, 5 seconds. So maybe he's slowly starting to back up, and he'll back into Flores, get that 6 second penalty, confirm the win for Kari. If so, it's a very clever tactic because they know something that Flores doesn't. Flores will just be saying that the guy ahead is going slowly and want to get past him. The downside, of course, is if Flores does get past, then those are some important points that could be lost out in the constructors and some points that could be gained if Kari makes another mistake. You'd imagine that if that is the tactic, it's a very clever one at that.
Well, the thing is, Cosmic, the good news he has is he has that over a second advantage on Flores. So if they go on to the final lap, as I'm watching Frandy run wide and drop clean off the back of 10th gear now, his hopes of catching him look to have faded. But yeah, it's 5.2 between Cosmic and Kari. So all he has to do, Cosmic, is come out the final corner, slow down across the line, and boom, there's your 6 seconds. And Kari strengthens his grip on the title. So yeah, very good point there, Ollie. It does look like a possibility. The gap continues to go up a couple of tenths a sector, and Cosmic now might just drop to 6 seconds on Kari. Certainly one to watch, but yep, I have to agree with what you said earlier. Kari for driver of the day. Small corner cut penalties don't equate to 4 or 5 seconds as Frandy picks up another one. And yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. Kari for driver of the day. It's a dream day for SML. Well on top. And performing really well at their best and looking like the champions. They're certainly going to strengthen their grip, and it's going to be a tall order for race stars to catch them from here as Kari is about to start his final lap.
Flores is gone! Flores is gone!
Oh.
Flores is just gone! He's gone through the the long right-hander there. He's completely locked up. His rear end has gone, and he has completely gone off into the gravel there. I got that. I don't think you might have.
No,
I've definitely got that recording. That's that'll be on social media later for you to watch. That was incredible. And Flores might have just thrown away his championship hopes there. So I'll give you a description of what happened there, because obviously you didn't see it. Coming through that right-hander, he's got a step of oversteer. His rear end's gone. He's fully locked up to try and hold it, and the car is just completely spun off into the gravel. He's lost complete control. His tyres will be dead, and that is some unfortunate situations. He's seemingly pushing too much now, and as you can see, Cosmic has dropped back 6 seconds to allow Kari to have the win. So from what has gone from not the worst situation in the world, not too bad, has now possibly gone to the worst possible situation for the Dutch driver and race stars. And Shamassi picks up a podium. Counter-Strike now really needs to push to try and catch Shamassi. That could be interesting now on the last few laps. Well, but Flores has just flown away. What could possibly be would have certainly been a podium, but he may have well just thrown away his championship hopes.
Well, I have to say it's a sore one for race stars. There'll be heartbreak across the Netherlands from Amsterdam to Rotterdam. They will not be best pleased. I can tell you, the Williams garage is directly below us, where the SML boys are housed, and they were jumping for joy. It was like a football stadium below us. vibrations, but they're going to be even louder in a moment, because here comes Kari. He has performed magnificently here today, backed up by his teammate SML Cosmic. It's an SML 1-2. The Spaniards dominate. Kari wins in the United States. They strengthen their grip and look certain now to lift the ULC Championship in PS4. It's a tall order from here for the Dutch drivers, especially with that late Flores failure. Cosmic brings it home in second, not usually racing for SML, but boy oh boy, he's backed up his team in fine style here today. Counter-Strike home in third ahead of Shumasi due to penalties. Flores sees the flag in fifth. Technica is going to be home in sixth. All of your thoughts on that finale? A pretty damning finish for the Dutch driver of Flores, wasn't it?
Yeah, heartbreak for him. What I'm going to do is, obviously, we're going to have the podium interviews. I'm going to see if we can get Flores in as well to get his point of view of what's just happened, because it'll be really interesting to see from his side what happened there. That must be absolutely heartbreaking for him. But nonetheless, you know, you've got to give credit where it's due. Kari done his job, and the SML guys have done a really, really solid job. And, you know, once again, you know, the Spaniards back on top. They were there on round one. They were doing their job. And now here at USA with just a few rounds to go, it looks like it's set for a Spanish championship delight in art of Fernando Alonso, but this time in the Williams. They'll be doing some great things hopefully going forward in this league and in the final few races. Will it be Kari? Will it be Flores? These are the questions. Will Flores pull off one of his miraculous comebacks that he did do, remember, at the back of the grid at Spain to the race victory? And if he does, it will be one of the greatest championship scraps I've ever seen.
Well, it's certainly going to be one to watch. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back next Tuesday, of course, for the race in Abu Dhabi, which is going to be followed by Bahrain. But let's have a look at the podium. What a day for the Spaniards. Kari lifts the trophy. He knows that they're on the brink. The Spaniards are on the brink of championship glory. They come home with a 1-2 here in the USA. Podium interviews to follow. It's a 1-2 for them, with Counter-Strike third for Race Stars. A fine afternoon's racing, and the champagne is sprayed here in Austin, Texas, and the Spaniards are on the road to glory. But there you go, there is your final results from the United States Grand Prix. SML Kari and SML Cosmic 1-2 for Williams, followed on by Counter-Strike in third. Shumasi was fourth. Flores' late disaster ends up bringing up fifth place, and only 10 points for him. A bit of a disaster there. Technica home sixth for Straight Line Racing. 10th Fear was 7th for UPL, sorry, and Franny Thompson in 8th for Straight Line Racing. Asa Pace came home 9th for ILR, and 10th was the debutant GP1 Hamilton and F1 Roadrunner. A quick word on those two, Ollie. Reasonable effort on their first race, wasn't it?
Yeah, they'll be looking forward to the next couple of races. They've done really well, kept up the consistency. Maybe not the most challenging of Grand Prix, you know, finished up the rear end of the finishers, obviously, with Matt Meerkat struggling, but some good things to build upon there. You know, you've got to take a good early set of points. You know, there's not many people to be competing with down there at the moment, but as they said, they just wanted to have fun, and I think they did that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to have a quick pause, folks. I'm now going to invite some guys into the party, the top three finishers plus Flores, because yeah, we want to find out what happened on that final lap. So we're back in a few moments' time as I get these guys in for the interviews. Ollie, just Kari, have you got him in PSN? No, it was just Cosmic and Flores. Okay. We'll get it in a few moments. Kari, what about Kari? We got Kari? Okay. 2 minutes. Okay, and that's Kari invited. Well, folks, we're just waiting right now to get the drivers in for interviews. Unfortunately, Counter-Strike has gone offline. He finished third in the Grand Prix, so he will not be in the podium interviews. But we do, of course, have hopefully Carey and Cosmic in a few moments' time, and of course we've got Flores as well, who had a bit of a disaster in the closing lap, so we'll be hearing from him as well. We'll want to hear what happened to him, because he put a big spin, a big off. It could be quite damaging for the Dutch Drivers' Championship hopes. So who have we got in so far? Only Flores so far. Hopefully we'll get Carey and Cosmic. But Ollie, I think we'll start with Flores then, since he's here. He wasn't in the podium. Flores, a bit of a nightmare, wasn't it? First of all, I want to ask you, before we go to the accident, why did you start on the super softs? Why not ultras?
Because my ultras last lap was corner cutting.
Oh, okay. So a bit of a disaster then, really. So that's not really what you wanted. So what about the finish then? The big spin at the end. Is that big spin going to end all championship hopes for race stars, do you think? Or do you think you've still got a chance?
For myself, I guess. I'm fucking pissed off right now.
Well, not been the greatest weekend. Well, what can you talk us through the spin, Flores? What really happened? We didn't really see it on the stream. Ollie did, but I'd like for you to talk us through it since you were driving.
Well, I approached the corner and I felt the back end was breaking out, and I was trying to catch it, but it was gone the other way, and I spun the other side. So I lost a few seconds. Yeah,
and ended up dropping down into 5th place. Do you think, from a team perspective, Flores, that the championship is still alive? Do you think there's still a hope there? Or do you think the Spaniards might have it in the bag now?
No, no.
Finished.
Same as drivers.
Okay, so...
it's 23 points and 2 races left.
Well, it's a sore one to take for Flores, and as you can hear by his voice, he's not best pleased. But we're going to have to go to contrasting emotions. We're going to have to hear from Carey. And Carey, well done today. Fantastic performance for the Spaniards. 1-2 here in the USA. The Dutch had been coming charging at you in the championship, but today you had all the answers. So well done, Carey. Your thoughts on the race?
Was fantastic. I can't believe it. But yeah, I saw what Flores suffered in the quali. I was watching him and I saw the corner cutting and I couldn't believe it. So he was starting 4th or 5th with super soft, and then yeah, he had a really great pace. He was carrying me, but then yeah, he spun.
So Carey, how do you feel? Oh, okay, carry on, sure.
Yeah, sorry. Also really good job from my teammate. He's done everything right.
I've got to ask you, your teammate, Cosmic, you said he did a good job. He's not usually racing in the ULC. Could you have asked for any better? It was pretty good, wasn't it? It was fantastic. Great teammate work from Cosmic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. He did everything well because he had no penalties, so he also even slowed a bit down to...
Yes, I've seen that.
Win, yes.
Yeah, very good job.
That's not the best way to win, but he wanted me to win, so can't do anything.
Yeah, well, fantastic. It's really helped you out, and the drivers and of course the constructors. And Carey, I know the job isn't done yet. I know you haven't won anything yet, but is it time to start dreaming? Do you think you're on the brink of glory?
Well, I'm closer, but there are 2 races left. Yeah, or 1.
2. Still got Barry and Anders.
2.
Yep.
So yeah, it's close, but we have to finish it.
You have to get the job done. He says anything can happen in Formula 1, of course. And Ollie, have you got any questions for either Flores or Carey on on what is, well, really the biggest contrast of emotions you could ever have, isn't it?
Yeah, I will always say Flores. I mean, you come into the season late, you've done a fantastic effort, you've got nothing to be ashamed about. But do you think, this is a good momentum? Obviously, Kari was very complimentary, saying you could be in top tiers of certain leagues and so on. And do you feel like, you've got, if you have next season, you go in with the right frame of mind, you might have a better chance of maybe having some success and glory?
Yeah, I missed the first race, so I missed a couple of points already. And yeah, hope to drive AOR F1 next season, and yeah, we'll see it from then.
And of course to Kari, not congratulations just yet, but you're very finely poised. If you outperform Flores pretty much going into the penultimate round, the championship will be yours. What is your frame of mind going into this? Obviously, only a few weeks ago, Flores overtook you from a really interesting situation, and now you're 23 points ahead. It's almost the sort of Lewis Hamilton effect, where you've kind of crawled from behind, and now have the championship in your hands.
I think I didn't really outscore him because it's a bit of bad luck. Yes. Not taking advantage of the good races that he could have done better. Also, he missed the first race. So yes, the championship is closer to me.
Well, that's all the questions I have after what was, I would say, probably, Andy, a very slow Grand Prix at points. But
Yeah.
in the end,
Yeah, it took a while to get going. There wasn't.
just want to quickly let people know on Twitter, I will have the footage of our reaction plus Flores on board of what happened. So sorry, Flores, but it will be relived, and Kari, you might want to look back at the moment that maybe you was handed the championship on a silver platter.
I tell you what, Ollie, I think Flores might want to block you if you tag him in that crash. Yeah,
maybe.
I really saw one for Flores to take. So there you go, folks. That rounds off the United States Grand Prix, and definitely the biggest contrast of emotions in the driver interviews after the race. Kari is jubilant. Flores is furious as we head to Bahrain we head to Abu Dhabi, for the next round of the championship, the penultimate round.
Brazil.
Oh, is it Brazil? Is it Brazil? Pardon me. I thought it was Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Right, yeah.
So sorry, it's Abu Dhabi for the next round of the World Championship. I'll be sure to see you guys there next week at 8:30 again on Tuesday night. Can Flores bounce back, or is it the final nail in his coffin? Are the Spanish on the brink of glory? Be sure to check it out next week, and we'll find out if Kari can wrap up the championship. Good night.